And finally, new rules, since all Republican voters really want in a candidate is a devout Christian who, 1, doesn't know shit from Shinola, and 2, is proud of that, and 3, isn't named Mitt, they should just go ahead and nominate Tim Tebow. That's right, take Denver Broncos quarterback Tim Tebow, the fan-favorite Christian who's in over his head on the football field, and put him somewhere where fan-favorite Christians who are in over their head are welcome, the Republican presidential race. Now, if you haven't heard of Tim Tebow, he's the college quarterback / religious nut the Broncos signed last year despite his having one tiny problem. He throws like a girl. I'm sorry, I take that back. Lots of girls throw. Naomi Campbell has a more impressive completion rate with cell phones. But that doesn't matter to the faithful because Tim Tebow is so cuckoo for Christianity that he used to write Bible verses in the charcoal under his eyes. Creepy to some, but for redneck America, they couldn't love this guy more if he was sculpted out of bacon. The words man crush don't begin to describe it. It is full-on gay. It's like the way Project Runway contestants talk about chiffon. But last Sunday, Tim learned that although Jesus saves, he can't read NFL defenses, and he's terrible at throwing into coverage. A Yahoo Sports article on Tebow's performance used words like atrocious, terrible, not even close to ready, and oh my God. And I thought, funny, those are the same things I've been thinking about Herman Cain. The difference being, in over your head is an asset in today's Republican politics. Their base doesn't care that Cain thinks presidents signed constitutional amendments or that Michelle Bachmann believes slavery was settled by the founders, because knowing things is seen as an affront to the all-knowing. And there's nothing they hate more than secular ed heads trying to fix problems like poverty and health care. Honestly, doesn't a lot of the Tea Party philosophy boil down to who needs the government when you have Jesus? Today's Republican Party doesn't want a smart, experienced problem solver. They want a motivational speaker with a background in pizza. Both Cain and Rick Perry have attacked Mitt Romney for having a tax plan that did not fit on an index card. Yes, there's a growing, gnawing, dark suspicion among Republicans that Mitt Romney is, cover your ears, children, smart. I'm not saying it's true, I'm just saying there's no proof it isn't. Meanwhile, 3 of the Republican candidates have said God called them to be president. But seriously, if God really did call all 3 to run for president, isn't he just fucking with 2 of them? Rick Perry, are you sure that was Jesus calling you and not just the Vicodin talking? Maybe he was calling Luke Perry. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Mitt Romney wants this more than any of you guys, and he, as always, will do whatever it takes to get the votes. And if that means coming up with a tax plan small enough that you can write it under your eye, then that's what he will do. All right, that's our show. I'll be appearing at the Waikiki Shell in Honolulu, Hawaii on New Year's Eve. I want to thank my guests David Patterson, Alex Wagner, Daryl Issa, Bill Engvall, and Bo Biden. Don't forget you can watch us now on More Overtime here on HBO. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Tim Tebow, and I'm here to talk about my new book, Through My Eyes. To think about Florida and from the first play to the last play and everything in between, and think about the highs, the lows, the championships, the Heisman, and then also, the loss to Alabama and the Ole Miss loss and what I was really thinking on this play. or I messed up the call in the huddle and I called this and this is why this play happened, and just different stuff like that. That's pretty goofy, and it's really funny to look back and think about. Well, my dad has had a huge impact on my life, and not because of what he's told me, but because of the example that he was in front of me every day. You know, it wasn't something that I had to go outside of the house to look for a role model. I had one that I could watch every single day, who when he said something, he did it. And when he believed in something, he went at it with all of his heart. And that was a great example for me, and I'm honored and blessed to have a dad who I can honestly call my biggest role model. Well, my philosophy since I was a little boy is hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work as hard. I think the biggest example is just how I go about living every day and honestly practicing. And when people say, why do you practice so hard? Or why do you run every sprint so hard? You don't have to do it. You're in good enough shape. Well, it's not just because I'm doing it to get in better shape or I'm doing it to be a leader. No, I'm doing it because everything I do, I want to, set the mark that this is how, I do it, because I do all things for the glory of God. I do everything as hard as I can because I do want to set a good example, because I do want to be a good leader, because I do want to be in shape, because I do want to be the hardest worker, but more than anything, because when I do something, I want to be the best that I possibly can at it. I think the one thing that I want people to take away from this book is that honestly, it really is my story, and it's real, and I'm real. There's good things, there's great things, there's not so good things, there's ups, there's downs, but that's the story of my life. And I want people to read this and think, okay, here's a guy that's trying to do it the right way. He's working as best he can. He makes mistakes, but he gets back up, and that's what it's all about. It's about a kid trying to go out there and accomplish his dreams and do it as best he possibly can, and in the meantime, try to be a good role model and help a lot of other people out on the way. Thanks for watching, and I hope you pick up a copy of my new book, Through My Eyes.
Again, an empty set for Tim Tebow. Flushed out of the pocket. He'll run it again. Puts his head down. A lot of guys go out of bounds. He goes right through Darrelle Revis.
I'm telling you, this is Tebow ball right here. This is backyard school ball, Tebow ball. When he's chained to the pocket, he's just a guy. When things start breaking down and he's got a chance to use his ability, look down the field. Look, every other quarterback in the league runs out of bounds. He tries to run Revis over, still gets out of bounds and stops the clock.
Of the overtime. The Broncos have been in 3 overtime games this year. They won them all. Got him at the 40. It's Thomas at the 50. Skipper got him 3 to the 30, to the 20. Thomas to the 10. Denver's going on to the run. They won on the first play of overtime. The new rules. You got to score 6 on the first possession to close it out. They do it on the very first play. He was open at the 40. Tebow hit him in stride, and there was a stiff arm by Thomas delivered at midfield that basically ended the game. They played run defense. Nobody back in the middle of the field to help. We've said it, Jim. That's their number 1 play action pass. They throw it almost always to Tim Tebow's left side. And let's look at it. Thomas to the top of the screen, just runs this route. We've seen it a few times. Look, nobody's in the middle. Everybody at the line of scrimmage playing run. Nice fake. Oh my gosh, nobody back. And Thomas, how about that speed? Outrunning both defenders with a touchdown. Ryan Mundy and Ike Taylor.
Come back. Victory. I mean, you knocked out the #1 defense in football and a 2-time Super Bowl winning quarterback. What were your emotions as you completed that last pass play to Demarius Thomas?
Well, the emotions were definitely running pretty high, and first, as I was running down the field, I just wanted to thank my Lord and Savior, and then I jumped in the stands, which I'd never done before, but I was pretty excited, and then got back on a knee and thanked the Lord again and tried to celebrate my teammates, and what a special moment it was for us as a team, for the fans, and for our coaches as well.
What about the victory lap that you took around the stadium?
Well, I just wanted to show the fans how much we appreciate them and how much they mean to us. And, if I could just take the time to go around and shake some hands and just tell them thank you. And that definitely, hopefully, meant a lot to them.
I don't know if anybody understands how difficult it is for you to lose, especially like you did last week against Kansas City, your worst NFL game ever. Coaches were in panic mode. What kind of a week was it for you leading up to this game?
Well, we knew it was a big week. We're playing a great team. We were blessed to be in the playoffs, and we didn't want to, have one and done. We wanted to win and see what would happen. And I'm just so proud of my teammates, the effort that they had, and the courage that they showed for more than 60 minutes.
You were the most inaccurate quarterback in the league going into the game. They're the #1 defense, and you hit them for the big play consistently. They just gave up the #1, the #3, the #4, and the #6 longest pass play that they've given up all year in this game. Why were you successful down the field?
Well, I just think, I have great teammates, and they make me look a lot better than I really am, and I'm just so proud of them and their effort.
How do you feel personally about your performance? I mean, this was a game where you were one of the dominant factors in the game for 4 quarters.
Well, personally, it only matters whether you win or lose, and I'm just proud that we were able to get a win, and that's all that matters. And now it's just time to celebrate for a few minutes and get ready for New England.